Okay, so I'm going to work you through some exercises that will probably be good to do when you're dealing with low back pain. I can't say it's good for everybody because every situation is a little bit different, but let's try these. So throughout the exercises, the main focus that we're going to go for is having a neutral spine. And that basically means standing relaxed here, how I might stand normal. Relaxed shoulders, and the natural curve in my back makes up sort of that neutral spine. This would not be neutral, might be stressful on our back. This would be hyperextension, and again, not neutral. So we want to have a nice strong core and our back neutral. So we're going to do exercises that avoid our flexion of our hips. So we're not going to be doing any of this, and we're not going to be doing too much of this either. What we're going to do is back strengthening and core strengthening exercises that will help you get your back a little more solid and all the way up from the hamstrings up to the low back without doing some at-risk movements. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of a get you loosened up type exercise. I like it because it's really like a passive strength exercise. It's sort of a hamstring stretch and straight. So you tie a stretch cord around something like I have here on my banister there. And then I can put the other side around my leg. So obviously be careful going down if you have a real stressful back. Your goal is to just get down to the ground as safe as possible, comfortable as possible. And then you're going to loop your heel through the stretch cord. And then get your body up a little bit. And what you're going to do is just do little pulses. Just like that. What we're doing here is strengthening our hamstring, which, the hamstring attaches up into our hip and at the sacral ligaments, and sacral ligaments actually pull on our low back. So getting our hamstring a little bit stronger and a little bit more flexibility is certainly going to help with our low back pain. And we can do this with a neutral spine. So what's really cool about this one is you can actually inch yourself a little forward and you can get a nice stretch. All right, the further you go forward with this exercise, maybe even start further forward if you want, the more stretching you get in that hamstring. And I'm working pulses this way to the center and then this. I might even do some circles. Okay, and this is a good strengthening exercise for your abdominals, and it stretches out your hamstring. And you can actually watch TV while you do it too. So, all right. That's our first one. And so let's safely get back up for our second exercise. Sort of the same sort of thing. We're going to work on a little more of the hamstring stretch because I think our hamstrings tie into our low back a little bit. So let's try this one, attaching it around our post again. And we'll do the exact same thing. I'll work my other leg on this one so I can get a little more balance. And because I'm pulling the hair on my legs here. Alright, so now I'm just going to work through this. And I'm simply pulling back on this hamstring just like this. Okay? I'm getting a little bit of my glute into it, a little more hamstring. Just doing pulses like that. I have to balance and stabilize in my core. But again, I'm not flexing my hips at all. No trunk flexion with this one, so it's actually going to be fairly safe for my low back. I can do the same thing for my hamstring, actually balancing like this. I need to back up a little bit further and do another hamstring just like that. But that's not as much on my low back. So that's the next exercise. All right. Third, we are going to do a little bit of back extension. We're going to do it pretty relaxed though. You want to get something to support your torso. So get over a fit ball like this. And you're just going to bring that leg up. Okay? Just like that. We're just going to bring that heel up to the sky. And we're not trying to go too deep with it. We're not trying to extend that back. We're just going to bring it right here and then just up like that. Okay? The nice thing about this is we are getting some trunk flexion, but we're not using our low back to get that trunk flexion, and we're supported by this ball right here. So maybe a couple on the other leg. Nice and steady. Again, don't overextend that back. All right. Okay, so the next one that we're going to do is a bridging exercise. What to do here, we're just going to be on the ground like this. And all we're doing is scooping up our pelvis with our stomach muscles and then coming right back down. Doesn't feel like much, but if you do 20 reps of these, you'll start to feel it. You want to pull that heel back towards your butt, and that'll actually engage your hamstrings more. And maybe your glutes a little bit too. Yeah, there we are. Try to relax your back when you're doing this, and use your stomach to pull up. Just like that. Okay. The next one we can do with a little bit of a neutral spine here, neutral spine again, is just bring both legs up like this. And again, we do have some trunk flexion here, but we're just going to leave one down, and our back's nice and supported. We're going to drop the toe to the ground and back up. Get back nice and strong. And back up. All right. And let's get up safely here. Actually, we can stay on the ground for this next one. This next one's going to be another core strengthener and hamstring exercise. We're just going to raise the hips up just like that. You're basically using your abdominal muscles to scoop your legs up and then right back down. Okay? And right back down. All right, so that's that exercise. As you get stronger, I recommend in the beginning, you can do this with one leg. And back down. And up. And a couple on the other leg. And again, working and strengthening the hamstring is certainly going to help the strength and function in our low back. Okay? So it all sort of connects all the way up around this hip. Okay. So let's get up from this exercise. I can bring this fit ball back, and I'm going to do a very similar thing as I just did with that one leg exercise, or the hip hike. So this is my straight leg bridge on the ball, but I can do it on a fit ball to get more core action, a little more core stabilizing going on here. And you can do this also with one leg, but it's really pretty challenging with one leg. A lot of resistance here. But again, a great one to strengthen our low back. Get that hamstring involved. Let's get it strong. All right. And let's get up comfortably. But again, I don't need to get up all the way. For this next exercise, I can stay on the ground again. We're going to do the standard plank. Okay? And that's just something like this. The neat thing about this is when we get this uses entirely our abdominal muscles. We do get a little bit of low back, erector spinae muscle involvement, but this is mostly a stomach exercise, and we're not getting any trunk flexion here. Just stabilizing our low back with our abdominal muscles. Nice and relaxed, but it actually doesn't feel very relaxed. This is pretty good resistance here. And for our final exercise here, actually I might give you one more after this here. We're just going to do what's called a side bridge. You get your elbow underneath your shoulder. You're going to get up like this, just down and up, down and up. Obviously get both sides, but you're going to really feel it in your oblique here, a good low back stabilizer. Okay? That's Another nice movement to stabilize our core, again without doing a lot of trunk flexion or anything unsupported in our low back. All right, the last one I want to show you is something that you can do. It's a stretch cord again, but we're going to bring it a little bit higher here. And we're simply take a stretch cord, attach it to our, make sure I'm still on the screen here, our post, and we're just going to rotate. Again, keeping that back neutral. You don't want to bend over, you don't want your hips out, you want a nice neutral spine, and just rotate here. Nice core rotational exercise. Easy enough, keeping your hands straight out, just using that core to move the resistance. Same thing on the other side. All right. So hopefully this series of exercises give you some ideas on what you can safely and comfortably do when you're dealing with low back pain. And again, if any of these exercises feel stressful, you notice even the hint of pain, or you don't want to do something that's going to have or going to strain your injured area any. You want to feel a little bit of resistance on the muscles. Ideally, you're not getting pain in the area when doing these. So think about which ones I have for you. Try them a little bit cautiously, and pick the ones that you can do that feel okay. So that's the idea. Hopefully, you'll get through this, and all the soft tissue magicians out there can take care of you, and maybe get some chiropractic care, some physical therapy, some massage. All those are great things to help you. Strengthening is also an awesome way to get through it too. Thanks for watching, listening. I hope this helps. Catch you next time.